everybody, it's Carrie from Carrie's Clips. For today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the first time my house was robbed. And yes, you heard that right, the first time, because my house was not robbed just once, and also not just twice, it was robbed 3 times. So, first time our house was robbed, me and Austin, my brother, it was during spring break, and we wanted to go to the fair. So my parents said, okay, we'll take you guys to the fair. Me and Austin got a bunch of our friends, and we all decided we were going to go to the fair and end spring break in the best way possible at the fair. So we went, and it was great. We had fun. We rode the rides, enjoyed ourselves. But my friend was with us, so we had to take her home after. So we got in the car after the fair, after we were done, after our parents came and got us. And they were acting really, really weird. So I was like, is everything okay? Like, what, is something wrong? And they were like, yeah, everything's fine. I knew it. My mom is like the easiest person to read because she does not hide her emotions at all. So I could tell she was really mad. So I was like, oh crap, did our house catch on fire? Like, what happened? Something bad happened. Did somebody die? Like, that's always my first thought. Like, if anyone's ever upset, like any of my family, like I think someone's dead because I don't even know why. It just scares me so much. Death terrifies me. Luckily, no one died, but my mom wouldn't tell me anything. Like, she wasn't saying anything. So I was like, okay, whatever. We need to get rid of my friend, drop her off at her house, and then she can tell me all of this. So I was just waiting. I couldn't wait to drop her off at her house. I couldn't wait to get rid of her, because I was going to get all the details on what happened. I didn't have to worry. So I was just panicking the whole way to her house. So we finally got there, dropped her off, and we pulled out. And I was like, okay, what's wrong? Because you're acting really weird. So my mom was like, do you really want to know? And I was like, yes, obviously. What the freak? Yes, tell me. So she was like, okay, well, our house was broken into, and pretty much all of our stuff was stolen. And I was like, what? Is Daryl okay? And that was my first question, was if the cat was okay, because he was a baby kitten. He was just born. He was like 3 days old. Didn't even have his eyes open yet. So I was obviously worried about the cat. I didn't care about my stuff. I just cared about the freaking cat because he was a baby and he was so cute and I loved him so much. So he was okay. He was fine. My mom was really mad at me, by the way, about the Daryl thing. I was worried about the cat, and she was mad that I was worried about the cat because I should have been worried about our stuff, but I was way more worried about the cat. So found out he was okay, so then everything was fine. And then, well, actually everything was not fine, but so we got into our house, and my parents apparently went out to eat and like went to dinner. They had to go back to the house to get something, and that is when they found out that the house was robbed. And I was obviously scared because we didn't live in the best neighborhood. Like, it was a very, very bad neighborhood. There were shootings all the time, and it was just bad. My dad bought the house because he wanted to flip it and like turn around, buy this like really crappy house, fix it up, and then flip it for a profit. So we had this house, and we were living in this terrible house in this terrible neighborhood. So it was really not fun at all living there, and like nobody liked us because we didn't fit in with them, and it was just really terrible. So we had people that just didn't like us on the street. We kind of were targeted because I don't want to like sound rude, but we were the only white people on the street, which isn't a bad thing. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I guess they didn't really like us. No one really talked to us on the road because, I don't know. I don't know why, but they just didn't like us, except one family liked us, and then everyone else just like drove past our house and just stared at us and just thought we were weird. We just kind of dealt with it. It was fine, whatever. But then our house was robbed, so we were mad. Like, after my parents brought us home, we came in, and our house looked like a crime scene because there was like fingerprint dust everywhere because they were trying to get fingerprints off of everywhere. So they like had fingerprint dust and like caution tape, and there was just so much stuff around the house, and it was just like so crazy and so like the weirdest thing ever. It was kind of interesting though because I'm like interested in that type of stuff, so it was really cool to have like my house be a crime scene. But we got in and we kind of looked at what was taken, and everything in Austin's room was taken pretty much. Like all of his electronics he had, like the brand new Xbox. I don't know what one it was at the time, but it was like a brand new Xbox, all of his games. He had like special equipment for recording videos that was stolen. Like really expensive stuff. Like he had $300 equipment in his room and it was stolen. So that was terrible. It was like the worst thing ever because that's like what Austin's life was. He loved playing his Xbox. He was a little boy, and little boys are like obsessed with that stuff. So his life was like done. He was so upset. And then in my room, I had like a Nook, which is kind of like a Kindle, but I don't know. It was from Books A Million, and I think it might be the Books A Million version of the Kindle. I'm not really sure, but it was for books, and it was like a tablet. That was stolen. And then I also had a laptop in my room that was stolen, and I think it was Austin's laptop, but it was just in my room. So they took that. So pretty much everything was fine with me because I had my DS, which I still have my DS. It's my favorite thing in the world, and my Game Boy. So that was like hidden in my room, and they didn't really look in my room for anything. My TV was actually mounted to my wall, so they didn't like, apparently they didn't have time to rip it out, which is good with me. I had my TV still. But my TV was the only TV left in the house. Everyone else's TVs were stolen, so heck yeah, I was good. We had this like big TV, which they didn't take that, but it was like a really old box TV, but they ripped it out and like broke it. So they were just stupid. They were being idiots, I guess. And they took that. And then my parents had lots of stuff in their room that they didn't really take. I think they just took my parents' TV and that's it. So they were in and out of the house really fast. Oh gosh, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. So another thing that they took was my dad's truck. This one was like probably the biggest thing that they took. So it was grand theft, but they took the truck and we had the keys like hanging on the wall. Because we had this like little thing and it's where you hang your keys. So they took the keys, went out and took my dad's truck. So apparently they just wanted to take it on a little joyride. They knew they couldn't get away with stealing it, so they just wanted to take it and just take it on a little joyride. I don't know. So they got the truck and then they drove it a couple blocks away and then they parked it and threw the keys out. And luckily my dad had GPS in the truck, so you could track the truck, like if anyone would ever take it or whatever, I don't even know. But they tracked the truck and they found it, and it was a couple blocks away. So everyone had to search for the keys. Like all of the cops were sitting out there searching for the keys because the boys threw the keys. So they found the keys, and then they got my dad's truck. So we got that back, but it was stolen. So that would have still been a charge on them if they would have gotten caught, but they didn't get caught, which is sad. I already have like anxiety issues, so this just made them so much worse. And there was like still a couple days left of spring break, so we had to be at the house by ourselves, like me and Austin while my parents were at work. So we were terrified to be in the house. I couldn't sleep, so I would just go on the couch and I tried to sleep on the couch. I probably had like 2 hours of sleep every night because I just couldn't sleep. So I stayed out on the couch. I don't know why I didn't stay in my room because my room was closer to the door. I just felt more comfortable in the living room on the couch. So I stayed in there and it was just really scary. I was worried about it for months. I just couldn't sleep because I was so scared. And every time I was at school, I would just be thinking, oh, what if our house is being robbed right now? I wouldn't even know. So that was always in the back of my head, and it still messes with my head today. I'm home most of the time because I'm a nanny, and she comes over here. She's my neighbor, so I bring the baby over here when I work, and so I'm always home. So I make sure all the doors are locked, and I just prefer being at home because I'm just so scared that someone's going to try to rob us again because it did happen 3 times. So I'm always very paranoid about that, and I'm always worried about that, like, in the back of my head. Like, right now, my hands are dripping sweat. They always sweat, but, like, it just really is something that I honestly worry about all the time. And it's just ridiculous. Like, there's no need for people to take other people's things. And I'm not going to go on a rant about that, because I could go on and on forever about how ridiculous people are thinking that they can take other people's things. It makes no sense to me. But it just really upsets me, because it really messed with me and, like, my head and the way that I think now, because I'm always worried that our house is going to get robbed. And with each time, like the second time my house got robbed, it was a lot worse, and it really messed with me a lot more. And then the third time just scarred me for life. I don't want to give any spoilers, but something good happened out of the third time our house got robbed. Not going to say, because I want it to be a surprise in my third video. I always have in the back of my head that, like, possibly our house could get robbed, and I, like, have dreams all the time. Like, when I'm home alone, and I'm sleeping, like, it's always in my head. So I dream that we are getting robbed, and, like, I'm in the house by myself, and it's just a really big fear of mine. So it's just bad, and I really thank you guys so much for watching this video, because I just like to blabber off my mouth all the time and just talk. And so thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see my other ones, you guys should subscribe so you get a notification as to when I upload the video, because I'm going to be uploading it very soon. I probably will upload the other one tomorrow, because it's a really good story, and I really hope you guys enjoy. Bye!